Every time you trust your gut, hold a boundary, seek support from actually supportive people, or exit quickly before you have to see the evidence of master manipulation, you're becoming dangerous to predators. You're ruining their games. That makes you an emotional badass. For people who once had so many games played on them, to be able to refuse, refute, dismiss, deny access to any gameplay in you, that is a strength, that is a security that nobody else can give you. But boy, can you give it to yourself. And that is strength. Now here's another very important, actionable thing that you can do right now. You can do this before your trauma has been fully processed and metabolized. You can change your body language. And I know you can do that because you can do it right now. Sit up a little taller. Stand a little taller if you're walking. Spread your clavicles, spread your shoulders as opposed to caving in. Think about how that reads to a predator in the wild. Take up space. Predators look for shrinking energy. Self-defense isn't just physical, it's energetic posture. Hello and welcome to the show. This is Emotional Badass, where Moxie meets mindful. I'm your host, Nikki Eisenhower, life coach and psychotherapist. And on today's episode, we are diving into part 2, how highly sensitive people can stop presenting as prey. We want to become dangerous to predators, y'all. If you haven't listened to part 1, I want to invite you to just hit pause on this one and go find part 1 so that this part 2 can make sense to you. All right. Last week, we uncovered how predators spot unhealed trauma. They really can see it. They can smell us, y'all. On the very first podcast I was ever a guest on, it was the Highly Sensitive Person podcast. She's no longer doing it. Hasn't been for years. But the very first topic I chose to speak about publicly was how highly sensitive people and narcissists are attracted to one another. So this is a very important topic to understand on our healing journeys. We have to bring awareness to what is going on with our body language, our vibes, what the energy we put out there into the world. Today, we're moving from awareness to empowerment. This is how to stop being easy prey in a world full of human predators. And I promise you, this is one of those you can fake it till you make it. Immediately upon hearing this episode, you can shift your energy and go out into the world and stand a little taller, be a little brighter, light up for yourself a little bit more. So the first thing to really understand and get into is that we are on a journey to heal the original wound. Now, we can't go backwards. We can't become people that don't have that original wound. But we can learn to repel the very predators we may have been inadvertently attracting. To truly get to the core of changing your signals, you have to move through processing what caused them. Part of that is understanding. Part of that is having someone in your life, whether that's a paid professional or someone in a support group dynamic, but somewhere, somehow, that has to be with an emotionally intelligent person who is also an emotional adult who can bear witness. Now, that doesn't sound like a big deal in the human condition. Really? I need somebody to bear witness? My proof of this is that any human being, since the beginning of time, who thought they saw an alien, immediately the next thing out of their mouth was, did anybody see that? Because we feel crazy if somebody else didn't see it too. We are biologically wired to be social creatures. Part of that is reality testing. Did you see that? Am I crazy? Am I hallucinating? We need that other person to say, no, I saw that too. You're not crazy. Then we exhale. That's not dependency on other people. That's how human beings were made to work. So this means that trauma therapy, somatic work, and that's just fancy branding and fancy wordsmithing of what it means to reconnect after dissociation with your body, with its sensations, to start paying attention to what had to be ignored during a betrayal or a trauma in earlier life. That's the reconnection of mind to heart, to gut, to body. There are many modalities out there, from yoga to EMDR, meditation. There are endless strategies that you can use. And I say that to be inspiring, not stressful. You don't have to explore all of those modalities, but we do have to explore multiple modalities. This helps us feel through and actually metabolize. When you eat something, your body has to metabolize that food. It has to digest it. We have to digest and metabolize what happened to us, to have it change form, to have it processed through. When we do that with food, that's where we pee and we poop it out, y'all. We need that to be flowing. As things happen to us in life, we have to learn how to metabolize it, not just hold it and let the body keep the score. We're learning the predator playbook. Y'all, we have to be savvy. Think about football players, and I'm no great sportsman, okay? But even somebody who doesn't understand sports can understand this about sports. Football players, basketball players, they study plays, right? They do this to have a strong offense and defense. So we want to study how they operate. We benefit greatly by spending some time in this life learning how they operate, studying how they operate. They love bomb, they gaslight, they triangulate. This means pitting two against one. They future fake. They talk about their future. I was just talking to someone I very much love and adore who was talking about getting love bombed, and that person was looking at engagement rings and sending them engagement rings very quickly. They future fake. They get you to buy into a future that'll keep you around. That makes you think that they're investing. And you don't walk away from investment, right? These are the games they play. We learned about intermittent reinforcement in last week's episode. This is like knowing and understanding Act 1. And when you know and understand Act 1 is predatory, you never have to stay for Act 3. So we're going to build our boundaries muscles, y'all. And if you haven't taken my boundaries intensive yet, make a note. Mark it. If you are into how I teach and what I talk about, there is no doubt that the boundaries intensive is for you. I teach it once a year. I didn't teach it in 2024, and I taught it in 2025. I'm pretty sure I'm going to teach it in 2026. Boundaries are harder than they sound. They're very nuanced, and most people teaching boundaries out there are not teaching it in a way that I endorse. But start small. Start by giving yourself messages that, yeah, you really are allowed to say no in this life. So start where it's less emotionally intense. When you order something at a restaurant or online and it's wrong, correct your order. And don't do that over apologizing. I'm so sorry. This is such a pain. Thank you so much for helping me. Hey, this order is wrong. Practice. Do it head held high. Voice strong. Notice when you're at the grocery store and something rings up with the wrong amount. Don't lean in defensively, desperately. Hey, that's wrong. That's wrong. I don't want to be charged for that. As if you're about to be wronged. Say it from a place of confidence, of groundedness. Hey, I noticed this rang up incorrectly. Could we get a manager to come correct this? If that's the price, I don't want to purchase that item today. Thank you for understanding. Speak up. Every boundary held teaches your nervous system that self-protection is right for your grown-up self, for your inner child, for your inner adolescent, after a lifetime of being taught that self-protection is wrong. Because dysfunctional people, predators, they don't want you to have boundaries. They don't want you to have self-protection. They don't want you to have fences. They want to be able to walk right up to your house and peek in the windows. They don't want you to have blinds. So give yourself messages that self-protection. Boundaries are safe and right for you, even if you have no idea about how to set a boundary yet. Patternscapes are a tool that I have created from my artistic expression and from my 20 years as a trauma therapist. The questions I've gotten asked the most are, how do I discover who I am? How do I learn to be still? How do I stop being hypervigilant? How do I stop overthinking? How do I meditate when everything in my mind and body wants to run around all over the place? Patternscapes are my answers to these questions inside of this box. You are layered and you are deep. Getting to know yourself is an art form. Patternscapes show you exactly how to spend 1 to 5 minutes getting to know you. Not the surface you, the deeper you. Modern life asks our bodies to do things we were never designed for. Constant rushing, constant noise, constant pressure to optimize and do more. No wonder our nervous systems are exhausted. The Patternscapes Wellness Deck is a tool I created to help you practice what I call emotional strength training, the art of slowing down long enough to feel what's happening inside you. If you're tired of living on emotional fumes, if you're looking for a holiday gift, visit getpatternscapes.com and pick up your deck and use code Black Friday. It's our first Black Friday sale, y'all, to save 50%. Pick up one for you, pick up one for someone you love. Use code Black Friday to get 50% off of Patternscapes for our biggest sale ever. Getpatternscapes.com, code Black Friday to save 50% now. Trust your gut. And I know the eye roll energy that I get when I say this, but any trauma survivor has had a lifetime of sensing in your gut something's off. I don't like what's happening here. This doesn't feel right. Yeah, it's all super love bombing, but something feels off because it feels phony. It's putting on. It's too much. So trust your gut as a practice, as an emotionally strength training exercise. Because here's the simple truth you've been talking yourself out of your whole life. If it feels off, it's off. Now, this is confusing because there's a lot of flip-flop. And the truth is, at first, when you feel somebody's safety and security, your system goes, what is this? I don't know what this is. It's so weird. So if you pull away from somebody that, after you pull away, you go, wait a minute. Now it doesn't feel right. Now my gut's like, wait a minute. What did I do? We're learning how to fine-tune our gut. Over time, you can fine-tune that sucker. And you can learn to trust it, but you have to start by acting from the gut. Even if you make some mistakes. It's like learning how to ride a bike. Nobody learns how to ride a bike as a kid without falling off, without getting some scraped knees, some scraped elbows, some scraped palms from hitting the ground. It's okay to get it wrong. In fact, it's necessary to get it wrong before getting it right. But start trusting your gut. Many times I'll ask clients that I know have a trust in me, hey, how has your gut felt about me during this time? And they'll look at me a little puzzled and they'll say, fine. I say, okay, so start noticing when your gut feels that nothingness, which is neutrality. That may be part of the problem, is that we notice our guts when alarms are going off, but we haven't so much keyed into, wait a minute, when I'm with this person, my gut calms down. I feel relaxed. It's the absence of that walking on eggshell energy. So if I feel that with Nikki, who else in my world do I feel a similar way with? And who don't I? What happens if I stop trying to talk myself out of this icky discomfort I have in my gut with somebody? What if I just start sitting with, yeah, I don't know why yet, but my gut doesn't like this. Let me gather more information. Is such a better story to tell yourself, such a better invitation to give yourself, inviting yourself to more information, as opposed to, no, it's fine. Let me dismiss myself. I'm the one with all the trauma. I'm probably screwing something up. Learn how to just sit in what you're feeling without talking yourself out of it. You got to meet your gut with the willingness, at least, to start listening and trusting it. And if you can't trust your gut, who the hell's gut do you think you're going to trust? Now, here's another very important, actionable thing that you can do right now. You can do this before your trauma has been fully processed and metabolized. You can change your body language. And I know you can do that because you can do it right now. Sit up a little taller. Stand a little taller if you're walking. Spread your clavicles, spread your shoulders, as opposed to caving in. In the Boundaries Intensive, we talked about some of the women in there being very tall women and how their tallness, I'm a shrimpy dink. So I don't have the experience of being a bigger person in my body. And when you grow up bigger, this is true of really big men. This is true of taller, bigger women too. You learn, oh, I'm not the norm here. I'm an outlier. And so you try to assimilate into the more average sizes. Bigger guys try to make themselves small, so do bigger women. Think about how that reads to a predator in the wild. So even my tall gals out there, I want to encourage you not to slump, not to bend your neck, to look a few inches shorter, but to play around with, to practice in the mirror, to go run some errands and be in your full body. It is your body, damn it. You are allowed to take up the space that your version of God or the universe or this life gave to you. It is yours. Embody it. Own it. And if other people feel weird about your size, let them. That's their issue, not yours. Take up space. Predators look for shrinking energy. Self-defense isn't just physical, it's energetic posture. A lot of introverts try to walk around invisible. How does that work if I'm walking past a mountain lion in the wild? How does that work if I'm walking past a pissed off bear? That reads as get 'em. They'll be easy to get. So let's think about and be intentional about the energetic posturing that may just be a pattern we have been unaware of till this very moment. Let's bring intention and attention to our posture. Imagine if I got on this microphone and this camera and wouldn't make eye contact with the camera. If I'd mumble my words, kind of swallow my breath. If I am to speak to you, to speak into this microphone, I need to project my voice. I bet if you go back and listen to year 1 episodes, you won't hear me as forceful on this microphone because I've grown into more energetic projection of my voice. Where would you like to grow? We need to build our support systems as highly sensitive people. And I know y'all talk to me about it in private. Y'all say things to me as highly sensitive people, 70% of which are introverts. As Nikki, is something wrong with me? Because I don't like 98% of people. I might not like 99% of people. And I'm going to sit here as someone who has a business working with people, who talks to people for a living, who listens to people for a living. And I will say, yeah, I don't like most people either. Stop cowering from that like it's some kind of dirty secret. There's 8 billion people on the planet. I don't need to like or align with half of them, 75% of them, even 30% of them. That is billions of people. That's more people than I could meet in multiple lifetimes. Let's get okay with the reality here and stop feeling guilty. I like highly emotionally intelligent people who work on themselves. That's a very small percentage of the population. Let's just deal with that truth. And from that 1 or 2% or maybe 5% of people that we're actually looking for in this life, let's screen for them. Let's scan for them. Let's learn how to attract them. Let's learn how to be attractive to them. And let's build a support system. We need a support system. We don't need 200 people in our support system. Isolation is the predator's playground, y'all. That's why when you start a relationship, I'm a woman who has lived in this state 10 years. I need to befriend other adult women, whether these are platonic relationships or romantic ones. When you start a relationship with a master manipulator, with a controller, with a user and abuser, they start talking shit about people in your support system. That's very intentional to separate you from them, to get you to doubt them and start giving your trust to the predator. In healthy relationships, there's a very strong vibe of, cool, I'm so glad you have people in your world who love you. Cool, I hope I get to meet them. I hope they like me too. There's no gameplay around that. Now, it doesn't mean the person in your life likes everybody in your world. My husband, Chris, producer of the show, who's listening to me talk right now, he's got one friend. There were 2. He's not friends with one of them anymore. But I was just like, I don't like them. And I'm not going to get in the way of your relationship with them, but I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot with them. And just is what it is. But that's very different than starting to pick apart somebody's support system, starting to isolate them. We have to stay connected to grounded people who can reality check us. Biggest thing highly sensitive people need to know in new relationships is to slow down. And I know your feelings don't want to. When you're being love bombed, my goodness, that is like being on a love roller coaster. Those are some vibes. That is some energy. Who the hell gets on an actual roller coaster and is like, okay, I want to get on this roller coaster, but I want it to go slowly? Nobody. So it might even feel paradoxical. It might feel backwards to do this, but to slow down. And I know if I say this to you, there is a part of your wise woman or wise man self that knows this to be true. When a relationship is right, we don't have to speed it up. It doesn't have to happen at warp speed. Good things take time. Good ideas take time. I think good relationships take some time too. I've also seen very healthy relationships move quickly. It's not necessarily about the external speed slowing down. It's more about your internal speed slowing down. When you're with a healthy person, even when it's exciting, even when it's fun to fall in love, to have a new person, a new friend, our nervous system grounds and slows down when we're with a healthy person. Doesn't need to be a perfectly healthy person, but a reasonable person. Someone who's not there to manipulate us, to play predatory games and tactics with us. It's like we can exhale, even when it's exciting. If our insides are sped up, it's the best language I've ever come up with to try to communicate what's very hard to put into words. Often that's our system going, something's not right here, yikes. Real love can withstand the test of time, and it does develop over time. Manipulation needs speed, y'all. It needs you a little discombobulated. It needs you a little whiplashed so that you don't really figure out what the hell's going on. If they're rushing intimacy, they're likely hiding something. It's as simple as that. And when we overcomplicate it, we're going back to being those little kids that we had an intuition in our gut, like I did about my mom so often, but I couldn't act from it. And I'd go from my gut to my head and just try to talk myself out of it. No, she loves me because she tells me she loves me all the time. I vividly remember thinking that as a little girl. No, my mom really does love me. She tells me all the time, every day. The only reason I had to circle on that was because the feeling parts of me did not feel her love. I heard her say the words, but I very much could sense that there was a disconnect. Something was wrong here because the actions and the words were very different. And my body knew that something was wrong with that. So here's some stoic truth. Longtime listeners, you know I'm a stoic. That means the obstacle is the way. It means we use what is difficult for this life to grow, to get stronger, to strengthen our muscles. We cannot eliminate all risk. We can only control what we can control. So if we find ourselves tangling up with a predator, the things that we can control are not the predator getting it. They don't want to get it. If they get it, then it means you got them. It means they can't play games with you. So not getting it is what they're vested in. We can't control the empathy level or the maturity level in another human being. We cannot control someone else's integrity. We cannot control other people living this life, wielding a very empty power of dominating other people. See, you know how to feel good and positive and connected and loving in beautiful ways. They don't know that. And they're not wired to try to get that or learn that. They're not seekers. They don't shed skin the way highly sensitive people do as we evolve. Narcissism is a God-like complex. Why the hell would a God self-evaluate and reflect and change something about themselves? That's the catch in these dynamics. Predators don't grow and change. They are predatory, and that's it. That's different than a non-predator making a big mistake and owning it, apologizing, and growing from it. When I say predators, I mean systematic, person to person to person, using, abusing, and tossing out. What you can control is how long someone has access to you. I will never forget the guy that I broke up with right before I met Chris. And that man liked me. That man wanted to marry me. And that man, the second he realized I had some friends, because he had a story that I was the new girl in Colorado. And the second I introduced him to a friend group, he stiffened, and I saw him not like that I had people that had my back around me. And immediately I thought, I have learned too many lessons. That's the end. And I ended it that very same day. I will never forget that man saying, you have to explain it to me. He had already picked up that I'm an explainer, y'all, that I teach. He was like, no, I want to know why you're doing this. I said, I'm not doing this argumentative thing with you. We're not right for each other. You're going to have to figure this out on your own and with somebody else. I can't explain it to you any more than I have. And what I was doing was controlling how much access he had to me. And once he showed me there were games to be played, no more access. That's it. Period. End of sentence. End of dynamic. You're in control of how soon you exit and how you cut off access to you. Patternscapes are a tool that I have created from my artistic expression and from my 20 years as a trauma therapist. The questions I've gotten asked the most are, how do I discover who I am? How do I learn to be still? How do I stop being hypervigilant? How do I stop overthinking? How do I meditate when everything in my mind and body wants to run around all over the place? Patternscapes are my answers to these questions inside of this box. You are layered and you are deep. Getting to know yourself is an art form. Patternscapes show you exactly how to spend 1 to 5 minutes getting to know you. Not the surface you, the deeper you. Modern life asks our bodies to do things we were never designed for. Constant rushing, constant noise, constant pressure to optimize and do more. No wonder our nervous systems are exhausted. The Patternscapes Wellness Deck is a tool I created to help you practice what I call emotional strength training, the art of slowing down long enough to feel what's happening inside you. If you're tired of living on emotional fumes, if you're looking for a holiday gift, visit getpatternscapes.com and pick up your deck and use code Black Friday. It's our first Black Friday sale, y'all, to save 50%. Pick up one for you, pick up one for someone you love. Use code Black Friday to get 50% off of Patternscapes for our biggest sale ever. Getpatternscapes.com, code Black Friday to save 50% now. You are also in control of whether you learn from these energies, from these experiences, from the heartbreak, from the frustration, from the exhaustion, from the confusion. Whether you learn and change or repeat, there's something we call trauma repetition in trauma work. Very much believe in it. It's a way that our human psychology works. It's like we keep picking up the same type of abuser again and again, as if some part of us is very stubborn in the learning department. And our hope overrides it, and our hope shows up and goes, all the other people that were similar to this couldn't get it. Maybe this one could get it. And wouldn't it feel great if after a lifetime of this type not getting it, that this type would finally get it? That's a big part of what keeps us in the mix in these dysfunctional dances that go no place other than to hell. The goal isn't to never be targeted. We can't control that fully. But it's to recognize when we have been targeted, to posture ourselves, to position ourselves, to stand up for ourselves in a way that communicates, I am not the one to play these games with. In a way, we have to learn how to take the game playing out. We can't be mouse to their cat, y'all, and stand in front of the cat just begging the cat to see our humanity. We have to recognize, oh, this cat is going to play with this mouse till the mouse is dead. I've got to get out of here. And I have to recognize that cat is going to cat around every single mouse it comes across. We have to learn how to recognize what's going on and exit fast and fiercely. We need to understand fierce compassion. So many sensitive people just continue to give away a fierce compassion. And you know who gets the short end of the compassion stick? Yourself. If predators have targeted you repeatedly, it doesn't mean that you're weak. It means your trauma taught you the wrong lessons about what will keep you safe or secure. Your trauma taught you wrong lessons about what you're supposed to endure from other people. You can relearn. You can let go of what no longer or never did serve you, and you can relearn what will. You can become grounded. You can become self-respecting. You can become discerning. You can weather what feels like addiction withdrawal when you pull away from love bombing. And you can still be deeply kind. You know, it was never supposed to be that you were kind to everybody else and unkind to you. True, healthy kindness, yes, it extends itself outward, but it's also kind inward. And that's part of how you keep your cup full so that you can keep reaching in to extend kindness to others. You can't do that from an empty cup. So we have to watch our own patterns. Look back at your history with users and abusers. Can you see how you continuing to have over-compassion for someone who was showing up and having little to no compassion for you, how much that imbalance opened you up to pain, to hurt, to a dynamic that wouldn't let your wounds scar over and heal. You'd heal up a little bit, and then here comes more manipulation, which rips the scab off. Then you're raw and confused again. We have to own it and get out of these patterns. You can be open-hearted and boundaried. I'm very boundaried. I'm also very open-hearted. And when an abusive type, whether it's a fully abusive type or someone who just has a slice of personality that if you hit the wrong button, you're going to get their abusive part. Anytime I show boundaries to someone who assumes I'm going to be open-hearted to their attack, I'm not going to be open-hearted to an attack. I'm open-hearted to a discussion, to a concern, to a conflict. Even when that's hard, I'm not going to be open-hearted to a full-on attack of my character, attack of my personhood. They're shocked. They're very shocked when they can't walk on me the way they thought they could. So let's be more shocking than enabling. We need our compassion to be self-protective too. Have compassion for how much you've been through. Have compassion for how much you've given away down a dark hole. And start retaining some of that self-care, that love, that consideration, that concern, that compassion, that deep understanding for you. It's not a contradiction to pull your big-heartedness back a little bit. It's actually integrating your compassion into yourself, your own life, your one precious life. That is what helps us balance. That's part of what gives off an energy to an abuser. Oh no, that's not going to work with her. That's not going to work with him because she takes care of herself too well. As recovering people pleasers, the goal is not to not please other people. The goal is to make damn sure that we are high up on that list. So we're pleasing ourselves too. See, an abuser can only get so far with me if they start to figure out, oh no, she's not going to just do my bidding. She's going to please herself. Yes, I am. And anyone who doesn't want you to do so is likely trying to manipulate you. Every time you trust your gut, hold a boundary, seek support from actually supportive people, or exit quickly before you have to see the evidence of Act 3 of master manipulation, you're becoming dangerous to predators. You're ruining their games. That makes you an emotional badass. For people who once had so many games played on them, to be able to refuse, refute, dismiss, deny access to any gameplay in you, that is a strength, that is a security that nobody else can give you. But boy, can you give it to yourself. And that is strength. So I want to mention one of my favorite books. It's called The Gift of Fear by Gavin de Becker. He's a brilliant, brilliant man. And he says, denial is a save now, pay later scheme. Trusting your intuition is not paranoia. It's protection. Now, The Gift of Fear is more than just an important book in my life. My mother gifted me this book the Christmas before my repressed memories came back. What a game that she gave me a book to trust my intuition. And my intuition said, don't ever trust her again. Can't even make that kind of stuff up. So The Gift of Fear, I hold it in my heart, in my mind, in my gut. See, there's not an animal out there other than the human animal that feels intuition and then talks themselves out of it. That's true insanity. That's true craziness. And if we had to endure that type of craziness growing up, it's our responsibility, and in my book, it's our birthright to come back to our intuitive gut to learn how to act from it. Healing trauma isn't just about inner peace. It's not just about talking through what happened to you. It's about learning to become almost unrecognizable to predators. You want them to pass you over like the house with the barking dog. So healing trauma is about broadcasting safety, strength, sovereignty, that I am my own authority figure and your gaslighting will not ever have authority over me. I will never present as prey again. I am one that the predators pass by. I ruin all their games. And it's a strength I get to have inside of me and with me forever. So you decide. Maybe pull out a journal. If this is an important topic to you, how do you want to come off to other people in the world? We're not beholden to introversion. Introversion should not make us look like prey. We can be quiet loners and still give off a vibe that says, don't F with me. What excuses do you have that try to scare you away from this kind of strength, from this kind of self-protection, from this kind of self-empowerment? What are your resistances? What are your fears? I had a lovely participant in the Boundaries Intensive mention in last week's group that they got a little more direct, a little more clear with somebody. And they immediately realized after doing that, wow, when I get specific and clear, hey, that's not for me, I'm not going to do that. It reads to other people as respect. And that's how you get respect. They were basically saying, I never would have guessed that getting direct and clear would result in me garnering respect. But it does. What a powerful thing when we respect ourselves and refuse to appear as prey in this world. I think you're worth that kind of power. What do you think? Come tell me on Patreon, patreon.com/emotionalbadass. I want to give you shout outs. Shout outs to Patreon producers of the show. When you come sign up at any tier on Patreon, you get a shout out here. Then you can share this episode, your couple seconds of being famous. I want to thank Jamie and Stephanie, Karen. I can recognize some of you were in Boundaries this year. Mari, Andreas, Romana, Natalie, TK, and Olivia. Y'all, we really can't do it without you. If you haven't already and you have benefited from the show, come jump on. You can jump in, you can jump out. It's part of Boundaries. If you jump in and you need to leave, you're not beholden. There are so many different ways to practice when you come hang out with me on Patreon. We have so many emotional muscles that can strengthen. And when we get stronger, we feel stronger. And that's what makes life easier. Patreon.com/emotionalbadass. We are releasing a poll about how you want me and my team to craft a book club that we are doing in 2026. So if you are interested in that, if you want to participate in how we shape that offering, better time, then come join the Patreon. I hope to meet you there. I hope to see you in the next live stream Q&A that we do once a month and get exclusive episodes that are commercial free. We have all kinds of little perks for you when you join the Patreon. Light and love, y'all. It's such a beautiful circle of y'all supporting us, supporting you, supporting getting the show all over the world. So deepest, deepest gratitude. If this episode or any other resonates with you and anyone else in your world, please be our marketing team. Help us combat how AI is taking over online and send this episode to someone that you love and care about. I'm an emotional badass. You are an emotional badass. And together, we are where Moxie meets mindful. Take care of yourselves out there. And I'll be right here next time with a brand new episode. Bye-bye.